2020 meeting of the Board of Selectmen. This meeting is public proceeding and will be recorded. The agenda is subject to change without notice. If you all stand, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, first thing is we need to open the paving bids for Walker Road. We have 2 bids.
We want somebody to sneak into this.
Yeah.
Okay. Date,
Why don't you go first?
date and sand, a lot of different pricing here, but it comes down, the total bid price, $230,455.
Tom?
Same thing, a lot of different prices, but a total bid price from Allstate Asphalt Incorporated. It comes in at $238,489.45.
Could you guys read the per line prices by chance?
What's that?
Could you read the per square yard price and per ton price?
Sure. Want me to go first?
I could, per ton is 66.10. Per lineal foot, 0.93. And per square yard is 13.75.
All right, per square yard is $10.50, 5% of cement for stabilization. Per ton is $67. Total tonnage is 2,739. The shoulders per lineal foot, 60 cents.
Thank you.
You have any comment, Morris?
No?
I have no idea.
Anybody have a motion to award?
Any chance I can see these two?
Base price, or is that 60 cents a foot? Is it included in the base price?
Morris, how do those sound?
Well, good to me. Like, I mean, they're all apples to apples. I go with a little bit of. That's my recommendation. We've worked with both firms.
Quality.
Happy with both of them. I mean, I got no.
Yeah, they both work Morris and done
Done great work.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we'll go with date and sand.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you. You guys all did a shot.
Hearing of public delegations, public input. Is there anybody that wants to talk for 5 minutes? Yep. Put your hand up first.
Okay. So, at the last meeting, I had submitted a letter to the select board that I had asked to be read at the meeting and had a conversation with John before the meeting, and the letter did not get read. So I had, from that discussion with John, he pointed me to the charter, which led to some more questions. So nobody minds me taking off my mask. I would like to read the letter now and then ask my questions, whether you get to them tonight or whether it's something that has to be put on until next time. Dear Select Board of Lyman, I'm requesting that this letter be read aloud at the next Select Board meeting. I am writing regarding something that has been on my mind and bothering me since the June 15th, 2020 Selectmen meeting. At that meeting, an elected official of the town came to the Selectmen to ask them to reconsider the dental portion of her insurance continuing to be paid by the town. Sitting in the audience that evening, I did not find that this was an unreasonable request. However, I was very surprised by the almost instant change in the demeanor of some of the Selectmen. From the interaction with the elected officials and the Selectmen, it was my understanding that as of July 1, 2020, the dental insurance would now be the responsibility of the elected official, even though the town has been paying it for 11 years. Well, at the meeting, there was a motion made by one of the Selectmen to open for discussion grandfathering the elected official. This was met with absolute silence. While one Selectman did speak up and let it be known that he could not second a motion, the other two Selectmen that were present remained silent. One Selectman sat back in his chair, crossed his arms over his chest, and in my opinion, glared at the elected official. Another Selectman did finally speak up, but the comment that was made by him, I feel, made it worse. His comment was that basically the elected official knew what she was getting when she accepted the position. However, that really is not the case, as she was hired 11 years ago and the dental insurance has been a benefit paid by the town. Even when the Select Board decided to make the position salary based instead of hourly, it is my understanding that the dental insurance was still being paid by the town. To be honest, at the meeting, I was horrified by the attitude of the Selectmen. I wanted to comment that evening, but was unsure if it was allowed or not, so I kept silent. When I got home that evening, I thought about the situation and decided I would give it 24 hours before I did anything. The next evening, I was still bothered by this and decided that I was going to email the Selectmen about it. While I was on the town website searching for information to send an email or a letter, which I will take the opportunity to say that the town website is still the worst and most user-unfriendly of any website I've ever been on, I came across the mission statement. I read the mission statement and got to the second bullet point, which reads, to foster high standards of public service and effective cooperation among town employees by providing a supportive work environment and competitive compensation by recognizing excellent performance and being responsive to the needs and interests of town employees. I was kind of surprised because witnessing what I had at that meeting and reading the mission statement did not match up in my mind. I needed to reset my 24-hour clock before I reached out. And as life got busy in the next couple of weeks, I decided that I would bring it up at the next Selectmen's meeting. However, I felt that at the next Selectmen's meeting, it was much busier than the last and not the right time. I have instead decided to write this letter. During the June 15 meeting, there was a comment made about the Selectmen and the elected official speaking a couple of different times regarding hours. So I decided I would go back and listen to some of the past meetings audio and see what I could find. Unfortunately, I was not able to find any of the previous discussions between the Select Board and the elected official. I did, however, get to hear an interesting discussion between the Select Board and the members of the Cemetery Committee. I was surprised to hear that the Cemetery Committee had overspent their budget by $1,840.69, and that $2,000 was being asked for in an article warrant to cover that, and another $1,000 was coming out of the town discretionary budget to cover a $600 lift. There was discussion about raising the amount that the Cemetery Committee had asked for in this year's budget. One selectman made the statement that he'd throw another $4 at it, but because there was only one member of the Budget Committee present at that selectmen's meeting, that could not be done. I am not sure if the selectman was suggesting $400 or $4,000, but as a taxpayer in the town, I feel very strongly, as well as a number of other taxpayers that I have spoken with this about, that the money should be used to help a living person working for our town. It was discussed at the June 15th meeting that the town can grandfather this elected official from having to pay for dental insurance, and the town will continue to put forth that money. I am asking the selectmen to reconsider this matter and grandfather this elected official. If the selectmen are willing to throw another $4 to the Cemetery Committee to take care of our deceased, non-tax-paying residents, even if it is $400, then why wouldn't we be willing to do the same for a living elected official of our town? Even if the $500 and something for the dental insurance needs to come out of the town discretionary budget to cover this year's dental insurance, I think it is a very good use of those funds. Sincerely, Amber Sweat. So when I had my conversation with John before the last meeting, he told me that this came about because there was talk when the new treasurer came on, and it was decided that the town had been paying for this insurance when it shouldn't have been. And he directed me to the town charter. And I could not find anywhere in the town charter that it said that the town couldn't pay for an elected person's insurance. So I wanted to find out, it seems that there's a lot of talk about elected versus employee. So the town doesn't feel that this elected official is an employee. I'm guessing that's how I've taken it. So one, I wanted to know, where did the charter state that the insurance was not to be paid by the town? Because if it's in there,
It
and
says in the charter, it says in the personnel policy that there are only 2 elected officials that are allowed to get any insurance benefits. One is the current road commissioner and the other is the town clerk. But they both should not have gotten, well, the road commissioner never got dental. The town clerk got dental even though she signed for and accepted the personnel policy when she came in, which really is really not required because we have elected officials and we have employees. They're different. Elected, and I don't know why, and none of us can really figure out why, that she ever was put on a salary, because she's not on a salary. She's on a stipend like the rest of us. We each get paid for what we do. We get a stipend from the town for what we do. The road commissioner doesn't get a stipend, but he gets his health insurance paid. And that was done long ago, long before this board. But it was put in the original personnel policy that those 2 officials, and only 2 elected officials, would get any health insurance, but it says they won't get dental. And Paulie did get dental on the way through, and the reason you haven't found anything on any minutes about any discussions, because it was all done in executive session.
okay,
Which
which
is
John
not
also
recorded.
said that I got that from an
Yes,
executive
yes.
session, which isn't true, because Pauline sat here that night and told in the meeting what her raise was amounted to, what her dental insurance was, and what that was leaving her. So that was all in this room that I got that
Well, then
information
you should have
from.
heard it on the tape.
It was on there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Everything that's
Yeah.
on the tape, understandably, doesn't make it into the minutes. That's why we have the tape.
oh, no, well, the way it was brought up was just that I shouldn't have had that information, but I wanted to make it clear that I had that information because I attended that meeting.
No, that information is public. Her salary is all public.
Okay,
It's public information. Anybody can know how much I make, how much the board makes, how much the road commissioner gets 0, but he gets his health benefits.
okay. So the other thing that I wanted to clarify is that the elected officials are not considered employees of the
Correct.
town.
Correct.
Okay, so I work for her company. We deal all in subcontractors, all of my work with the insurance companies that we work with. Are the elected officials covered under workers' comp?
No, we're not. We're exempt employees.
Okay, so they don't have workman's comp.
We
If
don't
they're hurt
pay-
on the job,
We don't pay
they,
workman's comp, we don't get workman's comp.
okay. Okay, and her taxes for her paychecks, are those taxes withheld from the town, or does she withhold,
Her
does she pay
state
her own
we-
taxes?
We all pay state and federal taxes. Nobody gets away without paying that. We pay state and
Well,
federal.
if you're
but
not
we
an
don't pay
employee,
FICA.
if you're not an employee,
If you get paid by someone, you have to pay taxes.
yes, but if you are not an employee of that person, you are paid with no taxes taken out. You're responsible for taking out your taxes. And-
IRS is different from Bureau of Labor.
Yeah.
IRS, they have to, they're considered employees, so they have to pay taxes, but under the Fair Labor Standards, they are not, they're exempt from everything else.
Okay.
If you have any, I mean, we've gone past the 5 minutes, and
Yeah, I
I really
understand
don't
that.
want to cut you off. If you have any other questions that you want to,
I just would, again, like to reiterate, I would just think that the board, I would like to see the select board reconsider
Okay, we'll
grandfathering
consider
this person's dental insurance. The town's been paying it for 11 years, and like I said, if we're willing to throw money at the cemetery committee, why aren't we willing
All
to
right.
take?
Thank you for comments.
Dave, how does it get reported? W-2 or 1099?
W-2.
So if it's a W-2, doesn't that indicate that that person is an employee?
We're not employees of the town, we're elected officials. It's different.
But in the eyes of the IRS?
In the eyes of the IRS, senators and congressmen are employees of the country, but they're elected officials. A whole different set of rules apply. And under Fair Labor Standards, we're exempt. I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but I only know what, we've gone through here, but I know that and why she was ever given us, she was paid for by the hour years ago when she started, which made no sense because we don't get paid by the hour, we get paid so much a year. She gets paid so much a year, it's a stipend. If we work 4 hours a week or 80 hours a week, we get the same amount of money. If she works 4 hours a week or 80 hours a week, she gets the same amount of money.
So I can get my head around it too. If you don't get workers' comp, if you get, any of you get hurt on the job, whether you're here and something happens to you here, or doing something for the town
I'm
and you're
sure if we're
injured,
hurt on the job, we're
how are
covered
you
by town
covered?
insurance. But it's not workman's comp. It's like if you're a volunteer for the town,
right,
I don't know if we ever did get that insurance. We have insurance, so if
Right.
you're a volunteer for the town and you get hurt, you're covered under that insurance, you're not under workman's comp because you're not an employee. And that's the same with us. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. Mail. Notice of decision from the planning board to rebuild the camp at 124 Wadley Pond Road. Notice of decision from the planning board for relocating an existing home at 237 Four Farm Road. RSU 57 assessment schedule of installments of taxes of $425,867.75 per month. Maine Municipal Association voting ballot for election of MMA Vice President Executive Committee. And notice from Eco Maine of FY20 schedule for municipal proportional share of expenses associated with landfill close post-close. Anybody want to look at these? Complaints received.
Morris had 3 today. but they
Oh,
were just
3
one.
all in one day, Morris?
No, they're not on one day, but they're just generic. I mean, it's nothing,
Taken care of?
Missing
we have, no, I
sign,
just got them,
Okay.
Missing sign, just.
Missing
Yeah,
sign.
missing sign. We got that one on the LR phone, I don't think it's my responsibility, that's state.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that one, I won't take care of that. I'll call them.
That other one, I think, is
You have to move the barrel.
same thing last year too.
Yeah,
The ones the complaints we had last time on Shore Road, Brad was up there, did we get finished with that, Brad?
What's that?
The complaints on Shore Road?
Yes, I just finished.
We just finished that one, so
Today.
that worked out. We went out and looked, and, while all residents aren't 100% happy, most of them are.
15 houses are corrected.
Approved minutes of July 20th, 2020 meeting.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Payroll warrant number 4 in the amount of
I already had one there. I already had one.
$18,061.82. I hear a motion. Second.
yeah.
Discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Payable warrant number 5 in the amount of $1,003,191.49. There a motion?
I'll make a motion there.
Second? Discussion? Besides,
That's a big one.
all in favor? All in favor.
Those are big ones.
Payable warrant number 123 in the amount of $8,575.05. Do I hear a
I'll make a motion there.
Yeah. Second? Second. Discussion? All in favor? All in favor. Unfinished business. Discuss approve road commissioner approving road purchase orders. Is there something on that? As everybody knows, we're having each one of the town committees submit purchase orders on their proposed purchases, and they have to get approved by a member of the selectmen. I kind of feel, and I think John kind of feels, that the road commissioner ought to sign his own purchase orders. He's an elected official, and he is responsible for that. I would accept the motion to have him sign his own purchase orders.
I motion.
Second,
We have more.
any discussion?
Question, I have a question.
Okay,
If this changed to a appointed position, is that gonna carry forward to the?
we'll find out when we get to the appointed position, Morris. That's a ways away.
Oh, not too far.
Well, that won't be your problem by then unless we
It won't
appoint
be
you.
my problem. Well, I was just curious.
But I think it will warrant a rediscussion if it becomes an appointed position
Yep.
instead of an elected position. I agree. All in favor? All in favor. We have reports from the animal control, no report from animal control. We have assessor report submitted. Did anybody see the assessor report? Well, it was the one basically we had last time. It was that email. Can we get a copy of that?
No, I don't know.
Maybe in here.
I didn't see it.
It was in the
Oh,
packet that
yeah,
was.
yeah,
I think I saw
It's
it.
on here, yeah, it's in here.
Yeah. It's basically what he told us last week. We asked him for a schedule. I talked to him today, and he said he was gonna send it to me, and I didn't get on my email, so he might have sent it to me. And if he did, I'll send it out to you guys. CEO building inspector report submitted. It's in the packet. Eco Maine, given that meeting? Nothing? Okay. Parks and Rec, no report. Planning Board, no report.
Actually,
Parks and Rec came in today.
Oh,
there is a report, yeah,
Oh, all right.
what they've been doing over at Chadbourne with the playground, they're in the process of getting that all together. It's going in as we speak.
Okay. Road Commissioner to be given that meeting?
Well, I think we ought to discuss putting that other 400 feet out to bid now. We got to know that we're gonna have money enough to do that.
Oh, the other piece?
The other 400 feet, because that, we.
Yeah, I agree.
We didn't bid that, David, we just, so I think we got the specs all together. Right?
Did you get the survey done and everything?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So we're ready to go?
Yep.
So we need a motion to advertise that project?
Yep.
I make a motion, we advertise that project from 400 feet.
Second that, Dave.
Any discussion? All in favor?
And it looks to me like we're gonna have some money left over to do some other paving, so I think you ought to be thinking about what you want to do.
Yeah, after we open the bids for that one, we ought to think about it, because, yeah, we sure as hell don't want to put any money back.
No, but I would think you're gonna have another $150,000 to spend.
Have you decided where you'd like to spend it?
Oh, yeah, I know where I want to spend it.
Okay, well, besides that.
You were asked there.
Okay. So,
No, I'll throw this out, all right? I mean, off-road, Hamilton Road, and the Davis Road. Those are three that I would really,
Okay, so as soon as we get the bids on the other one, we know how much money we have left. If you can kind of give us a rough estimate of how much you think each one of those would cost, and then we can, I mean, and we don't have time to waste. So.
I'm pretty sure,
You've already voted on, I believe you guys already voted on.
We voted on
Hamilton
Davis Road.
And the Hamilton Road.
Did we vote on Hamilton? I know we did, we voted on the Davis Road.
I think you can piggyback this on Dayton Sands contract and not have to go out to bidding on those.
Oh, that's fine with me too.
If they'll carry the figures.
Because I know we already voted for Davis Road.
Yeah.
I don't remember Hamilton Road.
Well, it was good, Martha talked about fixing it, and then it was talked about paving it.
Okay, so if you kind of put something together and then we'll try to add it to this contract.
What about roof lighting?
I'm not sure we're gonna money up to that. I mean, that would be my fourth one, Bill. I mean, if we got money enough, not put it on the next year on the top of the list. Because we don't have anything in the works for next year.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get asked, that's why.
Oh, no, I agree, yeah, you know.
Okay.
But of all the roads, other than Davis Road, of all the roads that for travel, right, that's gonna be the least, it has the least traveled.
Mhm.
How many of the roads we're talking about? There's quite a lot on the Hamilton Road, a lot on the Huff Road, you know, so.
All right. New business. Discuss approve warrant for runoff election of the tied vote of the July 14th, 2020 election. I have here a letter from the town clerk, and I'll paraphrase. And it says that she's notified the two people who ran that they're still tied. And she says that when picking a date, we have to think about absentee ballots. It takes her 30 days before the election. The absentee ballots have to be available. She says that she could run the election conceivably on September 8th, and she says, I will have to hustle, but I can do it. I don't think we ought to hustle her. I'm thinking around the 15th of September. I would entertain a motion that so we can discuss it.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that, look at the 15th of September.
Second? Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I like the idea of not the 8th.
Yeah, I don't wanna,
Labor
But it
Day.
coincides with a lot of things. You have Labor Day, starting school, starting sports, starting with everything to do with, anything to do with scholastics. So it's a pretty busy day to get people to come out to vote.
any more discussion? All in favor? 15th it is. Discuss approved Board of Selectmen member for GMFR Fire Commission per interlocal agreement. I think we should defer that one because our member's not here tonight. So I would entertain a motion to defer that till the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Discuss approved tax bill insert for cemetery committee and include other town debts. Note last year cost was $300. I don't understand that. Do you understand that?
Yeah, last year, the cemetery committee did an insert, and then.
Oh, that's right too, yeah.
Yeah, and then Alex put something in, and I think Holly put something in too.
Yeah, this is what this is a letter that we insert into the tax bill so that we're gonna be mailing this stuff anyway, so we save a little money. I'll entertain a motion to approve these inserts.
A motion to approve the inserts.
Any discussion?
I'm glad we're doing it.
Well, you don't really get to discuss, but I'll let you.
I have the letter here, that's all.
Oh, okay. That's good.
You want it?
I think we have a copy, don't we?
But that is the one that got in last year. That's
Okay, yeah, why don't you give us that and make sure we get the right one.
somehow,
Yeah.
something else got in there.
I think I got the same one.
What's it say?
Yeah.
Good.
I think so.
What's it say?
All in favor?
You wanna read it?
Oh, okay. I really don't wanna read it all, but I will. Do you have a cemetery on your property in Lyman? If so, Lyman Cemetery Committee would like to assist you in cleaning, maintaining, and preserving this important part of town's history. There are over 100 known ancient cemeteries in Lyman that committee members have been working on to remove trees, brush, undergrowth, as well as cleaning, maintaining, and resetting headstones that are dirty or in need of repair. If you are willing to maintain your own cemetery, the committee would still like to know its location, size, and citizens, especially veterans, interred there so it can create a complete list of cemeteries for committee reference in the years ahead. Our knowledge, experience, and help is offered free of charge. To report a cemetery and arrange for a site visit and cleanup, please contact Steve Carpentieri at and then it gives some email addresses. Discuss and approve poll permit on Howard
We didn't
Road.
vote on that.
Oh, we didn't, oh, all in favor? All in favor. Gotta have a vote.
Taking on what John
Anytime you want this job, you know, talk. All right. Poll permit, Howard Road, is that in here?
42 acres. What? Where that pole's,
Where is it, Tom?
right at the end of Howard Road.
Howard Road?
Right next to the
Oh, here
culvert,
it
the
is.
first culvert in on Howard Road, right after the.
Oh,
right-
where
right-
we, okay.
Right there by the
That piece that
culvert.
Joey owns going up there.
Yeah. They've already put the one on the property, they just, they
Yeah,
got it
Just
marked
need it
out for the
approved.
one,
okay.
care of the guardrail.
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Why not, I need neighbors.
Second. Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
David, speaking of that, we have a poll on that section we're gonna build over there on the Swamp Road that's gonna be
Yeah.
moved.
Who gets that move? Does the contractor or do we?
No, we do.
So we have to put in a, tell them. to
We
move.
gotta, yeah,
So you handle that?
I can, yes.
As
Please.
quick as they move to.
Yeah, I hope they do it a little faster than
Yeah,
last time.
we might wanna get
We
going.
built around it.
It isn't doing much good, so we can cut it right off and just leave it dangling.
Just a guy pole.
Just a
That's
guy
all,
pole.
that's what I looked
But
at
it's
the
all
other day,
slack.
just a, all slack we can get.
And it's not guying much really.
No.
No,
If I had been the contractor, I probably would have backed into it with my,
whoops, I had an incident.
yeah. But anyway, I can, any more, anything else? I'll entertain the,
Motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
all in favor? Thank you all for coming.